Bills.
Go Bills.
Go home, Bill.
So
It's always next year.
are you guys Bills fans?
No, just me. So that's my second team.
Welcome to Unclogged Conversations. Okay. Did Frank see the video?
I don't know. He hasn't come, so I don't know.
That was a funny story.
Yeah.
You know, the funny part was how Jessica, who isn't here today, was like all purring up, and she reminded me of Theo Vaughn the way she did that. The way she was. That was pretty funny.
Interesting.
You don't think so?
I wouldn't think Theo Vaughn, but
You ever see? You know how Theo Vaughn is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll rewatch that.
okay.
So we all saw bits and pieces of it.
For sure.
Recommendation from the 14-year-old is to go Spotify.
Well, that's one comment he made was, just put it on Spotify so we can listen to it instead of watching.
Well, you can listen to it on YouTube too.
He's 14, so I'm just passing on the information.
There's problems with 14-year-olds. We have a 14-year-old over here watching. What about you? Any feedback? Any thoughts?
Just the host, keep the conversations going. We were a little weird.
Weird, a little awkward.
Awkward. Hey. But it was, she liked it. It was just, she said, you could tell you guys were all nervous and a little awkward at times. So,
You guys are all used to like sitting in the van by yourself all day.
Pretty much.
in silence.
That's the way we like it.
But don't two guys work together?
Sometimes.
Like who was it? I saw Phil and who's the other one?
Dennis.
Anchor Dennis.
Dennis. They were in the van together.
Depends on the day, if I pair people up,
Some
Where-
jobs take
where
2 or
the-
3 people.
where the job is and what it is can dictate how we pair up, or we enough work for everybody to be separate, depending on the job and the day. So,
Would you rather be the driver or the passenger?
driver.
I like being a passenger once in a while. I mean, I drive a lot, but then I can't listen to my book on tape if I'm the passenger. But with this guy in passenger, he's got TikTok and Facebook reels on full blast, so I don't.
I
love
jam
that all
out the
time.
country
He
music.
jams out the country music, and
I got Daryl listening to it now, so
yeah, I can zone it right out.
It's on. And you're in. You're doing the stand, right?
Yep.
And where are you at the stand?
Chapter 57, I think.
Out of like 300.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So are they in Colorado yet?
They just got to Las Vegas. They just got driven to Las Vegas, and the tall man's coming to see them, and locked up in the prison.
It's a good book.
And then the one guy, I'm not gonna ruin it for anybody. Probably that's an old book. That one guy gets shot pretty
Nobody
good.
watches this.
I'm not
anyway.
you're not ruining it for me.
No, have
I
you
don't
seen
listen to books.
Have you seen the miniseries?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, like came on like in the 80s, the miniseries of
Yeah.
The Stand. So The Stand is a Stephen King book. It's the end of the world, Satan versus God, whatever. It's like this 1,000-page book, and you got the unabridged.
Yeah. And this has got a lot more to it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they put out a miniseries. It's got Rob Lowe in it and
Okay.
a bunch of famous actors. You'd notice it. It's good. It's out there on the internet. All right. So Bills lost. So you don't care. You care.
I care.
You don't care.
I care
You care.
for Daryl.
Good.
So
It was a sad day.
I thought I'd share with you a quick little tidbit about it. I don't care. I'm not actually, I like the NFL, but I don't know. I just watch some games or whatever. But my daughter's boyfriend has made my granddaughter really into the Bills.
Nice.
So she wears Bills gear
Bills fan.
everywhere. She had a Stephon Diggs jersey for a little while and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the Bills lost. And so now I'm sad because my granddaughter is sad. And I'm like, why couldn't he have been like a Chiefs fan? That would have been so much better.
No, it wouldn't. No.
My granddaughter has to live with this burden
Right.
of the Bills for the rest of her
Okay.
life.
She'll still enjoy it.
Do they?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
What do you enjoy about it?
It's exciting. Win or lose. They're great fans.
I like
Bills
the fan
Mafia
base. Their fan base is probably the best fan base. But
Technically not
like
win or
no other.
lose.
No, we still enjoy it.
Is it ever ended in a win?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
A couple
Just
playoff
remember-
games, just not a Super Bowl.
They're getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, all right. So we don't have to spend too much time on that, but the Bills is a big deal. Any good jobs of the week so far? Any stories? Good. Have you actually been doing work, Robby?
I have been doing a lot of work, just not any standout jobs. I mean, it's just your normal drain cleaning.
Give me one. There has to be one.
I think the YMCA would probably be a good one.
That's the one down on Montgomery, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I've been in that one. That's where you taught me all about gravity.
You know how many jobs I've done since then?
Well, okay. From a technical standpoint, explaining gravity with drains. I mean, it's logical, but it made sense and you explained it. So why does gravity matter? Especially in a big building like that, the YMCA. Old building.
I don't remember what I told you.
Well, I'll start from the beginning.
Come on, Sir Isaac Newton.
I don't remember the law of physics, I guess, and gravity. With water, gravity seeks its own level.
Right.
Or water seeks its own level, right?
Mhm.
So if you have up high, the water is going to go down until it can't, right? So, or if you have a blockage, if it's blocked on floor 2, for example, or below floor 2, it's going to come out somewhere on the second level because it can't get any further. And so it's not going to come up on 3 unless if it can get out at 2, I guess is what
Well, I think one of the things that a novice or an ignorant person like myself or anybody else that's not in the world of drain cleaning is, I think we understand like our house, it drains with gravity to the sewers, but in a bigger building like that,
same principle.
same
Right.
principle, but it would
Right.
seem like it would, because it's so much, it's almost like there would have to be some sort of pumping mechanism or some sort of thing. And then, so what I remember is when we went into the YMCA was the discovery process. Where is the blockage? Because it's an older building, but because of gravity, you have to like methodically work your way through it. You see where right?
Right. So in theory, say the line leaves the building on first floor. Anything below that first floor, there's where a pump would come in hand. Come into play because it has to pump up to that gravity drain. So anything above first floor would be still gravity.
Yep.
I don't, I'm not very good at explaining it on my camera.
That was
so-
really good. No. Yeah. I may not even hit record yet. We haven't started yet. Not messing with you.
I wish you wouldn't have, but
We did find a shower handle inside of a drain today, actually. Don't know how that would have got it down there, but
No, I don't think it would have fit through a toilet.
Where
I
at?
don't know.
Where at in the drain?
in the main sewer
50,
line.
yeah, 50 foot out in the parking lot.
The shower handle is like the twisty one,
Yep.
or the
Like a handle, yeah.
well, probably went down in the tub or something like that, right?
No, shouldn't, yeah. Would have been
Probably
too big.
3
Fit
inches
through inch
big.
and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
Had to be two inches at least.
One of the ones jobs that I went on with you, again a long time ago, there was like it was an open drain, but there's a bunch of cans. It looked like people had like a drinking party out by the
on the street,
they
they threw them down
they
the
put all the
Yep.
cans down in the can, and it stopped
Shouldn't have a lot.
everything. Yeah, it was an apartment complex. It was type of deal. So that's pretty interesting. How did you find it?
We used like our camera. We had a blockage, got the line open, and then we went back the next day to kind of camera to see what was going on.
Video inspection.
Yeah,
equipment.
we used to have the camera down there and located it, but yeah, about 55 feet.
Is that the oddest thing you've seen down in the drain?
I think that,
oddest, no.
no, not
But
that.
I think it's, I talked to the maintenance supervisor and I gave him his options. We can try and push it to the sewer main, city main,
becomes a city problem then.
But the problem is, if
It's
we
a much
don't,
bigger line.
if we don't get it to that point, is this the best place for it to be able to excavate to get it out of there? Or if I push it, it may be a worst case scenario where it's not an area conducive to digging. So we know we're in a spot that, is it ideal? No, but it's a spot we know that they can get to do that. But, so he wants to come up with a game plan of what they're going to do. And at this point,
Originally, it was wedged straight up and down vertical, blocking toilet paper and anything else that was going down the line. We got it knocked over sideways to where some stuff will probably still pass by it a little easier, but some stuff's probably still going to get hung up on it here and there.
Why don't we have like tongs?
They don't make them that
50
big.
foot, 50 foot long. And you gotta go down into a clean out and then over 90 degrees, and then who knows how many turns and bends it's gonna
But
take.
we have a jetter.
Yep.
And you guys use the jetter almost like it's a
Sometimes you can
ramp.
get past it and kind of pull it back.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can hit it with a forward head and push it out somewhere. We tried that. We got it moved maybe 8 or 10 foot, but just couldn't.
But you
didn't
can't-
want to move any further.
they have tongs like that for your arteries
Sure.
and everything else. Why can't do they make tongs like that for?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, the risk that you run is if you get your piece of equipment stuck in there.
And then way worse.
So
Fair enough. Well, how about you? Any good jobs?
Nothing since the cats, really. And a bunch of my neighbors said that they would bring their cats down to my house so I could pet them. I guess I didn't convey that I'm very much a cat person in our last video. I don't hate cats. Got nothing against them. We're not cat people. We're more dog people. But growing up, I had cats, so I don't mind cats. I just don't want them in my house.
Fair enough. Well, the topic I wanted to talk about today was, we were talking about drain cleaning and gravity was really interesting. And I think one of the things that is hard for a lot of people to understand is the discovery process. One of the things that I've always wanted as a partner here with us here at Superior Drains is like, I want people to know what it's going to cost, but we can't tell them because we don't know. There's a discovery process. And we can kind of get some Q&A over the phone, but until we land on site and we start probing and opening up pipes and everything else, we really just don't know.
So in the process of a phone call, a customer calls with a clogged drain, whether it's a main drain or just a sink drain or a tub drain or something like that. So we give them an initial price, trip charge, and snaking.
Right.
And what I, convey to the customer is that, typically we snake your drain and away we go.
Yep.
But you have those jobs that are more entailed. And if there's anything above the target price that we discussed, then there is a discussion from the technician to the client.
Before we proceed. Absolutely.
Do you think people are price worried? I mean, it's like, I think they have to get their drain done, right? They really have.
Well, I
no
mean,
option.
price is always a concern, right? I mean, no matter what you're buying, it's a concern, right? I mean, what you're spending. So I think, they know that going in, but it's just, I think most of them they're sometimes shocked what it costs, and some are relieved to know, at least I know what I'm potentially going to be into. But, just being upfront and transparent is the key, I think.
Right.
And, I don't know what other companies do. Some I do, but, I think our process has worked. Being transparent with the customer is
Well,
key.
so Daryl, how are we transparent?
Just by, giving pricing up front the best we can. But once we get there and assess, usually it's if it's what we told them on the phone, we just continue on with that. Sometimes we get into a job and we have to stop and talk to the customer. Hey, we've been doing this for over an hour. We might be into a little more charges moving forward. or, you know, we were at an apartment complex and we snake the drain multiple times, go down and then come right back up as soon as we put water to it, snake it some more, snake it some more. That wasn't working. We tried snaking from another spot, pulled the customer aside, said, you know, this isn't working. We got to move on to the next step. We think we need the jetter involved. You know, it's probably, you know, really heavy buildup in there. We need some water in there to break it up. We need some pressurized water, really break it up, push it down the line. And they agreed to that. We told them what the price was up front. They agreed to it. And that's what ended up getting the blockage out. So, you know, sometimes we go in, you know, best case, we snake it and move on. Sometimes it takes a little bit more, and most of our customers are pretty understanding.
As long as we are transparent with them, and then a step-by-step process, right? So, all right, well, we jetted. Well, now we did get it open, but, you know, we think maybe we felt something, or, you know, and then a lot of that's gauged by, you know, is this the first time it's ever backed up? Has it been a problem for the last, you know, that they tell you it's been a problem? Oh, no, every 6 months for the last 3 years, but they may not tell you that until you're into that next step process, right? Oh, yeah, I've been having trouble with this. So, I mean, every customer is different. So you have to approach every customer as being different, and every case being different. So that's how we approach it. And
Well, you know, Robby, we're talking about transparency and clarity and really good communication. I think one of the things that's really a challenge is unless you get a camera down in the drain, you're kind of working off a feel.
Yeah, everything's feel. Just doing it for a little while now. You get the hang of what you might hit something and get caught on. Going through traps, you can find out that they're broke and you can't get through the trap. So a lot of it comes in experience.
Yeah, I think that's why I was getting at experience, because, you know what PDR is with a car? You know, if you get a dent out, they stick those little wires down in the side of the car and they roll the dent out on a car. It looks really simple to do. It's like if you get like a little hail damage or something on your car, they have like all these different little cables they can send down your car, and they go behind the body panel and smooth it out, right? Well, but it's a feel-based thing. And I think I've watched you guys work the jetters and stuff like that. You guys are it's a hands-on, you're feeling for whatever it is. And depending upon where that blockage might be, you'll know if it's a tree root versus something else or something like that. So in experience, you know, Chris, is kind of our expertise.
It's kind of our model with the amount of years of experience I have between all of our techs. I mean, it's priceless, right? I mean, a lot of times we can, you know, diagnosis, right? I mean, it's a pretty simple concept when, especially in Syracuse, where there's a trap in the front yard, right? Where there's a vent, okay? So assessment a lot of times can be pretty simple. So if you go to the vent, you know, customer calls with a sewer backup. Go to the vent and the water level's high in the vent, that tells us the line is clogged between the vent and the street. If the water level's normal in the vent, then they're still backed up in the house, and that tells us it's clogged between the vent and the house. So it's a pretty easy diagnosing tool. So it just gives us an assurance that we know what we're looking at.
Right.
So we can
What we need to do.
help rule, you know, where it's plugged, you know, help diagnose where the problem is.
And I think at the end of the day, that's what most of us want as customers, right? We want our drain cleaned, but we also want to know that it's actually like problem solved. It's not like I get a temporary fix that 2 weeks later or a month later or something.
You know, we advise too, if we get one that we've had a little trouble with, we may have gotten it open, but we feel like there's maybe something more to be underlying where the problem was. And some customers, you know, hey, let's see what it does. You know, we advise, because I mean, if we go to a house that we've never been to before and they've never had an issue, all right, drain's clogged, right? So if they call us back in 3 months, say, hey, it's backed up again, it hasn't happened in 20 years. All right, now maybe we need to investigate more. So, I mean, it's a case by case and customer by customer, because, you know, some people want to do that extra step right there because they want to do everything they can ensure that they're not going to have a drain back up again. You know, some people, you know, finances or whatever their situation may be, you think, well, maybe we just hold off and see what it does. So,
And that's really good working with the client, meeting them at their needs, solving the problem, you know, trying to stay within budget. And that's all. It's really good. Now, next week, you guys got to come back with some really good stories. I mean, you guys work in a world where most people are.
There actually was one
it's
last
kind of
week.
it's kind of like just everyday business for us, but
Last week, me and Frank did find a bunch of change.
that's
There's a old laundromat.
Oh, it's an apartment complex, probably.
No,
right?
it was just a single building. And it was clogged, backed up. We got to do it once, but we never cambered it. We got it open, and they backed up probably, 3 months later.
oh yeah.
Me and Frank went out there last week and got it open, but he was having trouble. Well, we sent the camera down and ended up being a ton of quarters and change, and it just...
So Frank was telling me that, you know, he went and talked to the client and he didn't even mention the change to her first. He says, did this used to be a laundromat? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Buy the change in the drain. So
Change in the drain.
That's when that claw thing really comes in handy, like a scooper.
Yeah, could have made some money.
There's a way to get it out, Frank said, but it's like with a magnet and a jetter and
well, usually
whatever it is.
where we used to do it, repeatedly, the old company that if it was down the line, you put your vac truck in the drain and jet it, and the vacuum would help draw the chain back. Something. It's
It could have been self-funded.
Yeah.
If you had the court, you know, right?
I've never seen this little scooper you're talking about.
Right. Maybe AI can create a one for us.
That's right. We'll have ChatGPT just put one together
There you
for
go.
us, a scooper. You probably don't want to be scooping a lot of things down there.
No,
It's not a,
rather
not a
just push it
scooping-
out and let it be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, scooping back is not. Well, the jetter's kind of a scooper. It's kind of drawn with the water. No.
Well,
So you have good, you know, your thoughts are well, but practical.
I'm a problem solver. I'm a
Mm.
problem solver.
Well, if you get a scooper that'll scoop them out, then it comes to his.
I don't think magnets will work because
No.
quarters are not.
No,
You'll
magnets. You know, change is not magnetic.
Yeah.
Well, next week, better stories. Otherwise, we'll be talking about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl or something.
I'm boycotting it. Fully
Coming
funding
in
it.
next week.
No, they won't because they got the week off. But they get to play one more time.
All
Affected.
All right. Well, this has been Unclogged Conversations. Why don't you guys? I'll edit this and recut it and put you guys at the beginning here. But why don't you just introduce yourself? Just your name. That's it. I am
Crit.
I am Robby.
I am Daryl.
And I'm Levi. And over there's Charlie, but nobody can see
What's up,
him.
Charlie?
All right. That's it, guys. See you. Yeah. Spotify.